Opening the meeting, application 2485. That's lot subdivision. Consider its continuation from 605. So you have some new information on this. You went to the select board with the questions that we had about the roads, and private roads.
Yes, they will let me keep my roads existing in there as Pinnacle Lane, and the other road will go out to 2 lots. It's in Cleveland Meadows.
So the little short conversation we were having amongst us is that our definition of a private road is a road that serves 2 or more lots as the primary access for 2 or more lots. So what are the 2 or more lots that the private part of Pinnacle Lane is serving?
More, sure.
Sure, absolutely.
Sure, as well.
Okay.
Yes, this is the end of the town road right here.
Yeah.
And this is mine, it goes over, goes up, goes to mine.
Yeah.
And there's that. But it, this is the lot that goes up, there's 2 lots coming off here, my existing lot here.
Yeah. But this road here, the continuation of Pinnacle Lane is going out here, right?
Goes out, goes all the way up. Yeah.
So what are the 2 lots that is the primary access
Right
to?
here. This is driveway to one, this driveway to the other.
Okay, so you're saying that Pinnacle Lane, the private portion of Pinnacle Lane is going to go from here to here.
This is gonna be Cleveland Meadows.
Okay, so Cleveland Meadows is going to serve this lot and this lot, right? Where are the 2 lots that this is serving?
This is private from here down through, so I thought this would be that, and mine up here. Tell this, this is just you have private access to the continuation. That's what's in the deed, that's what's in the West subdivision record.
Right, I understand that, but you're saying that this is going to become a private road here.
It already is a private.
Right, and it's going to be Pinnacle Lane.
Mhm.
So
And keep his numbers, because I can keep my number. up here.
Our
At
def-
339.
right. Our definition of not Pinnacle Lane, but a private road is that it has to serve 2 or more lots as the primary access.
Mhm.
Which 2 lots
It,
is it serving?
it did serve this with the septic and everything is in here, the building that was here. I now moved up here for my garage, but this is all septic systems all in, it's serving, it's serving this.
Cleveland Meadows is serving those.
So yeah, the Cleveland Meadows, that's not the same road.
That's
It's a
the new,
different road.
the new road you get to.
Right, so we're not questioning this, we're questioning this. It's a private road. But it's only serving one, that's the primary access.
It's his access. It's like his drive.
But it needs
This
to be a
is-
road in order for
Right.
Cleveland Meadows to tee off, I think is the contention.
Well, that's the contention, but he also needs 150 feet of road frontage to subdivide this off this. So I'm not even sure, so this lot here ends here right now?
Yeah.
So, no, I don't know what the road frontage requirements were when this subdivision was made. But it must have been at least 90 feet. Because it was when I built the camp 45 years ago. But I'm not, that's water over the dam.
Mhm.
Um,
Sorry, I went to select board thinking that they were the ones that made the decision on that.
They're actually,
They're not, okay.
Well, because they have the right to naming convention, right? They can approve Cleveland Meadows, but as far as what passes
Okay.
in subdivision.
I'm totally wrong. I assume wrong. I assume the same.
well, I mean, am I wrong about this? That a private road has to serve one of the definitions of a private road has to serve more than, well, 2 or more lots as its primary access.
I would argue, just devil's advocate here, I would argue that without that section of Pinnacle private, where it then turns to Cleveland Meadows, Cleveland Meadows couldn't exist, so it technically does serve.
Yeah.
In name, maybe not. I mean, I wasn't at the last month's meeting. Had I been here, one of the things that I would wonder or question is why it couldn't be, use this for example, you have Pinnacle Lane, select board has approved you to use that in name. Have that turn and have your driveway be from this survey point over. So
Exactly.
The reason I was trying to do that the other way is just because for 10 years or 13 years, that is my address.
right,
And,
what a bear.
yeah, it's just, they change it all over.
So the question I have, unless you're married to the Cleveland Meadows idea, in order for everybody to leave here happy, let it be Pinnacle Lane, private edition, whatever it is, that, and have that stay Pinnacle. And right on that corner where it crosses on this subdivision line here, this becomes driveway, not private road, because you have a subdivision line. No, he'd still be fine. Because your existing property line goes to here.
Right, he's got all this road frontage here.
Yeah, so the only thing we would need technically by the letter of the law, whether it's what the intent was, we would need to make sure that this distance here gave him his 150 because
Your lot is like so on this side, right?
oh, it is. Oh, perfect. Then there is no question. So if this remains Pinnacle, you ditch the Cleveland Meadows, this all remains Pinnacle, and this becomes driveway access. You keep your 339 Pinnacle. These 2 lots, this lot and this lot, get Pinnacle Lane addresses.
If in the future I sold anything off on that, is that gonna make a problem
You
there?
would have to do another road.
You would have to, yes, with today's zoning rules, you'd have to subdivide 2 or more lots. And probably bring your Cleveland Meadows from this intersection,
Well, it wouldn't have to be Cleveland.
whatever it
Yeah.
was.
But the way the land lays out and the place that this area right here is, I think the state designated it in the Act 250, where the house could be. And it was zoned, it was taken, what I did was when I bought it, I had it engineered and stuff. And to see what's capable, and it was capable of 15 lots at the time. And this 3 lots, it's what 5 was back then. But I'm not planning on doing that. I might think about selling this chunk of land off over here as I get older, but
You would have to put access to. 150 feet on the public. This lot, you have to have 50 feet of access either on this road. Right on.
But if you subdivided this one more time, it would feed this lot and the other lot. So you really don't have to do a 1 lot subdivision and feed the 2 lots with a new road. And again,
naming the road,
we have a select board have to wave their magic wand on the name of the road. I would argue the way that it's drawn, that Pinnacle Lane private section technically does feed Cleveland Meadows and therefore is the connector that feeds 2 or more lots. It's getting a little fuzzy. It's getting a little furry there.
That's why we're here.
But yeah, I would think that you could keep it as Pinnacle, drop Cleveland Meadows. You can keep your 339. These people get whatever address they get. Whoever this is gonna get a different Pinnacle.
Right, he's coming, he's definitely coming, this person's definitely off.
Right. They'll have a lower number, they'll have one first numbers.
I'm just a little bit worried about the E911. Because that 339 is based on.
It's here.
No, I think it is.
If his access moves to here,
Mhm.
the E911 coordinator may ask for that to be different.
This is better. It's still my line. This is.
But it's based on the access point. It's where the driveway is, because that's how the emergency vehicles are looking for it.
So that would, I mean, even if we allowed this to continue as Pinnacle Lane here, that would still mess that up. As far as the 911, if the address is actually coming from here and not from here.
I'm in the middle of a move right now, so I'm changing my address. And so I understand what a pain in the neck it is. But hard to gauge which one's more of a pain in the neck. All this or.
Yeah.
Uh,
But when this was put in all of the paperwork and all of the terms, it said road. Driveway was just here.
Yeah.
But,
So your 339 or whatever, that comes from here or from here?
I don't know, they just gave it to me.
It's right, and I think it's from here because what's the address of this property here? It's pretty close.
From the 70s, I think, something like that. There's numbers.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Take roads. Take roads.
Yeah, it was a high to 200, and so
that's how you have it.
less than a tenth, right? So
300 feet. You know, it could be 300 feet from here to here. I don't know.
Yeah.
169 from here to here.
miles, what?
It's 380 feet to here, I believe.
Yeah.
From there. Just measured it the other day.
No.
I feel like I saw that on one of these drawings. The address over there.
The address.
I have 203 Pinnacle.
293, yeah.
And where is that for him?
This one,
That one there. And your address is
It's actually right here.
339.
There is a number.
Oh,
That's the number that actually is there.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
It's the one by the pond. Yeah, well, and then he's, well, there.
Well, that's because it's putting the numbers on the structures.
right,
But
right.
the numbers are based on the access point from the road.
Yeah, that's one of the 10th.
This is 900 feet from there to.
Right, but your E911 address suggests a difference of point four.
Right.
So that 0.4 of a mile, no, 0.04 of a mile. Right, 0.04.
Right. So 10th of the mile would be about 580 feet.
And so
probably
half of that.
500 feet.
Half of that,
Half of that.
less than half of that.
May I ask,
So we're talking like 250 feet.
may I ask a couple questions of me? Is this going to be Pinnacle Lane or is this? going
That's
to
the
be-
conversation we're having right now.
Sort that out.
Now, my input would be, this has a potential with 22 acres or so out here. This and the line, it's not going to go on. You can't go on. You've terminated. You need a cul-de-sac, hammerhead or something for turnaround. At this point, if you ever approve this as a town road, this has the potential of going on for others. I would say that this should be, the name should carry on this, and that would be just a driveway or a private road, short private road. Because you're not providing any hammerhead, turnaround, cul-de-sac or anything here. I don't see it there.
You said there's an existing hammerhead over here somewhere, right?
Right there. Yeah, I looked at that, I went to the town guys and stuff to see what,
This
They would prefer, yeah.
has more future. This is in the line.
I know the town is pretty reluctant to approve.
Well, and if at any time we were petitioned, if the select board were petitioned to take it up, then a hammerhead would have to be constructed, would have to do boundary line adjustments to make it work.
it's a 50-foot right away, but basically it's gonna be a driveway.
Right. You guys are gonna meet the driveway, the road construction criteria for 2 lots. It's a 12-foot lane width with 16 inches of gravel or whatever the number is.
Yeah, Mr. Lawrence, if this one didn't end up being Pinnacle Lane, if this ended up being Pinnacle Lane ending here, yes, you're right, it would never be able to be approved as a town road to here. But this could exist as a different name.
I would suggest that the name carries through here because you do have the potential over there.
I think we'd love to do that if we could make it work.
Yeah, somebody would just have to argue, like I was saying, that what is that distance? 300 feet, whatever this is, this little
300
distance
something
here.
feet from here.
That is technically feeding 3 lots by way of allowing Cleveland Meadows to exist. I just don't know how, you're bringing up the 911 issue, I don't know how that works. I understand how those things are listed, but with our 911 signs, I don't know how.
Yeah, I know that, I don't think we can promise 339 will stay. That's not in our hands. That's an 911 coordinator.
Right, and I actually don't know who's listed as our 911 coordinator anymore. Oh, hey, look at you.
And I don't think there's a lot of discretion. It's basically just measurements.
Right. Yeah.
So.
I was asking if it's possible to down here, if we did go with a sign to say Cleveland Meadows. If we don't do Cleveland Meadows and it's just a driveway, that's fine too. But if we did, what I was going to suggest is having Cleveland Meadows sign be this way, and Pinnacle Lane still be showing it this way.
And again, being private, I think you could even get those with arrows. And still meet the MUTCD.
We have to decide.
Boiling it down for me, the question is, does Pinnacle, the way that it's drawn now, it is Pinnacle and Cleveland Meadows, right? That's what we're presented with tonight.
That's what we were from coming
We
back
are
from the select board.
approving the subdivision if the criteria is met.
To me, the question still remains. Pinnacle Lane, Cleveland Meadows, does Pinnacle Lane service enough lots to be a road because it allows Cleveland Meadows to exist? That's question one.
Can
If
we pull up the reg on that? So I can read it specifically. Do you have it, Andy? The subdivision regulation concerning, well, I guess it's a road.
a road serves 4 or more lots.
Right, yeah, I don't think we get into any more specifics than that.
Than that.
This is
So,
a pretty.
Mike's interpretation is,
And it doesn't have to have a name going to those 2 lots. It can be just driveway.
Well, so
That's fine.
like I said, the question is, can Pinnacle Lane be a private road serving technically by address only your lot? but still allowing access to those other two lots by way of this other named road. If it cannot, if that's not what the regs say or the board decides, do we pinnacle lane down to those other two lots and allow your driveway access to be at that corner where the pond is? And how does that impact, how does either decision impact your 911 address?
And I still do own this land before those two lots.
But in order for us to approve that, we have to assume that at some point you won't.
In order for us to approve this.
I may have misspoke. What I meant to say was that you are asking for a subdivision which would give you the rights to sell that individual lot. So in my mind, part of this is making sure that, the access to all three individual lots meets our criteria, whether you own them or you don't, because up until the moment that you sell them, it's treated as one lot, whether they're subdivided or they're not. But we have to, in our heads, think about the fact that at some point you may not own that.
If I sold it, does that make a fair change to my 911 not be up there?
So you own, again, I wasn't here last month and I'm sorry that I'm muddying the waters here.
Yeah.
So the lot lines,
This all the way around, it comes up here, comes out here, this here.
So this section of road, you're gonna own both sides of that.
Right.
I take back what I said. It had no bearing on your question. I was thinking these lots, the ones that you are subdividing, you may not at one point own those.
that would solve that problem. But it's our job isn't to like tell you to make more lots than you want. But that would, it's all about definitions, If you, but then you're gonna have to extend it. Probably out to here.
Probably.
Well, you might not even have to go that far. But it has to have 150 feet, like this, depending on how you carve these lots up. If you were to put another lot in there, this lot, wherever it is, would have to have access to this road.
Yeah.
Frontage of 150 feet. You have to maintain your frontage of 150 feet.
Right, so this road extends 150 feet, lot up here, your lot there.
Right, and if your lot's, out here, you own all the way around it, when you count this 150 feet as part of yours still, I don't.
Would we approve a lot that allows this weird?
Yep, as long as he's got 2 acres of a regularly shaped lot. That fits, and not. The regularly shaped lot has to fit within.
Because by that, if he kept his 150 feet here, starting the subdivision, he still has his frontage, his driveway doesn't have to change. You wouldn't necessarily need to extend the road.
Right, could do that. But you're talking probably more than you want to do right now.
Where's the reg of definition of private road?
It's in the definitions.
It's not in the highway standards.
No,
it's part of it, sorry.
Subdivision definitions.
Road.
Pitch.
140.
any public or private way or right of way which provides for its reserved. That's why it says two or more abutting properties. This has to meet the class 4.
Well. Not necessarily. It has to meet whatever the construction requirements are to serve its average daily traffic volume.
Okay.
Most likely.
Most likely class 3.
Well, I would say most likely class 4 because it's only, it would most closely resemble class 4.
Okay. But it's not. Class 4 is the minimum. It depends on what it's being used for.
It was all state approved, the culverts, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I-250, right?
Actually, I put in one extra culvert more than what they said, just because I wanted something taken off halfway down the hill, just in case. Irene came back again.
Is there any potential hiccup we can run into down the road with Mike's idea?
Which one? Because I have two.
Well, the one which is that the private part of Pinnacle is actually serving 3 lots.
So the one that turns
Right.
goes down.
No, I mean, if this was even called Cleveland Meadows,
Yeah,
that this can still exist because it enables access to 1, 2, 3 lots.
but is it the principal access to 2 or more abutting properties? That means does the driveway come on to
Which
that?
provides or is reserved to provide the principal access. I would say, like, this is, like Mike was saying, it's fuzzy.
It's very,
This section right here is providing access to this road.
And where I arrived at that is what would have happened, what would this meeting look like if the town never took over? Never took Pinnacle Lane, that private road would continue up through.
Yeah.
Simply because they took over a section of it.
yeah,
It does by the definitions. But it is my opinion, 1/5 of a board, it is my opinion that it's in name only. In practicality, it does not matter. Had the town never taken Pinnacle Lane over, Pinnacle Lane would have extended out into yours. It would have served all of the lots before it. It would have served yours, and there would have been an intersection with a sign just like you're talking about to do Cleveland Meadows to serve those other 2. The issue here is that at some point when the town took over Pinnacle, they arbitrarily or otherwise elected to stop it wherever they stopped it, which I don't believe is where the turnaround is. According to the map, the satellite view, it looks like the turnaround is further back on the corner, but
pretty close.
It's right even with it.
yeah, all of that be damned. It is my opinion that the intent of this is to make sure that people aren't just willy-nilly naming private roads that serve single lots.
We don't care if it's not Cleveland thing up there. The select board thought that it needed to have a name because it was breaking off of. So that was the reason that I've come up with Cleveland Meadows.
You know, if you are going to continue this up into here to access this other lot, then this would be its own separate road. It would be its own separate name and everything.
And if we approve this with this being Pinnacle, if you did want to develop this later, then you have to name this road.
Right.
Something else.
So my house should be on that.
You check it out.
Different name.
Not a different number, but a different name.
Do you have a problem with 2 lots accessing on a private drive,
Private road.
call it a road, private or drive, but from there on, it's a private? Do you have a problem with 2 of them on there?
We need to apply.
Required a minimum of 2.
Pardon?
We need a minimum of 2, so that's perfect. That meets what we're looking for.
The easy solution for us, put another lot in there. then there are no questions. Cleveland Meadows exists, Pinnacle Lane private exists. That's the easy part for us.
Okay, put another lot off on that road.
That's the easy, it meets, as far as I'm aware, as long as it meets the road criteria, blah, 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 the 150 feet of frontage.
Off of this road here.
Off from that road there. That's the easy answer for us. The slightly more complicated one is, are we willing to argue that the Pinnacle Lane private is the primary access to the other two by allowing access to Cleveland Meadows?
And I think you really got the spirit of this regulation by the town took over this part up to here.
If that conversation never happened,
Yeah.
if that was still private road,
So here's a question for you. Does any of this become steep?
Yeah, it's really slow.
What is the grade?
No, it's exactly what it is. Yeah. This just breaks off here like that one does, but it's the same.
What road is way down? Okay, is there anything showing the lots up there? Nothing like that. There, here's put it in. Oh, the- we need what's right here. Just off the. With the, options. This is just a scale. Yeah, but it just has contours, so we can see the grade.
Pretty good, good to write up. And it's not very far away.
it would be hard to make our open meeting law work with that.
Okay.
Can't, no,
No,
I can't judge what 6% is, but looking here, you might be able to tell, it's got the contour lines. So the road standards have certain steepness that you can also.
I would say under 8%, we allow up to 10% for certain, like 200 feet,
Yeah,
200 continuous feet.
we allow steeper parts of the roads.
Had to be done something because for the telephone poles and stuff are up there. I dropped that down probably 20 feet up there, bring the road down, bring that up 12 feet to make it the grades, I think, come into that.
So I think we're pushing the limits probably. This road's sideways to the grade here, so. Does this need to have work done to kind of level it? Or crown it? Because we got sort of
Where are we at here?
this is the Cleveland Meadows. End of the road, right? So you have a little bit of a side hill here, comes sloping into it.
Slopes down here, but this is added all here.
Okay, yeah, this shows
Just
a little bit. Right. Steeper there. And this is mostly already there, right?
Yes,
It's a little
yes.
narrow.
No, this part up here. This part is if you're going to this. This is just long.
I know I didn't do anything, but I may have a contour map. In great detail.
We got some maps that have show it.
That's how it was on.
I'm assuming so, right? It's been about 13 years since I've looked at it.
So do we have to see the evidence that the road meets the highway standards, or is that a zoning administrator's job?
Yeah,
We just approve it
yeah, it
with
may be.
we could say the condition that the road meets.
Well,
That's
that
understood,
it meets to highway standards.
Right.
Yeah. Then it's up to you to follow the highway standards for whatever average vehicle daily trips or something like that. You know, there's like a calculation, how many houses are off the road. Because they determine how wide the road has to be. But there's also, as part of those standards, how steep that road can be.
Looking at the 20-foot contours, it really doesn't look I mean, again, I've never actually been up Pinnacle Lane, so I don't know what I'm talking about, but looking at the contour map online, it looks pretty flat at the top there.
Right around where that pond is.
Yeah, I mean, there is that hill. Showing, but
On the backside,
Yeah.
sloping to the river.
yeah, but we're well, looks like we're well inside of. Inside of that. Yeah,
It's that pond here. So this is just showing the well shields and septic shields.
When you get into the well shield area, I have a couple questions.
Okay,
Go for it.
This well shield is going beyond this proposed well, and it's going beyond this proposed well here. Am I gonna have a problem? Because the well is inside that well shield area, and same here. Am I gonna have trouble with you people?
The well shield is for septic though, not
Yes.
for other wells.
The well shield area is to protect that well.
So this well shield
This well shield here
is showing,
is to protect that well. This well shield here is to protect that well. And this well shield goes a little bit over where that proposed well is. This one goes over a little bit on this one.
so much as this is interesting, we have no authority over that at all. At one point, we tried to, make people, if their well shield or septic shield extended onto a neighboring property, that they would have to get an easement. And we were told by the state, you cannot do that, that's a state prerogative. We don't touch that.
Design.
Okay, design those.
So,
This is design.
so when they do that, they.
This is this is where your proposed buildings are right here. Down there.
all right, approximate drill.
Is it chemical lane right here?
You're,
Is that chemical lane right there?
yes.
Okay, you turn and come up the driveway, right?
Around here.
Come up the driveway, and you have a septic here, and you have somewhere right in here, according to this plan, somewhere right in here, you have a well.
That's your proposed well right here. We're there, you see it?
No, don't turn it around. I got my brain oriented. Don't confuse it.
And then that well there serves this building.
That doesn't matter to me. This is on his land.
Yeah.
This one here is on my land. And he's proposing a septic here, which infracts upon what I am seeing down here. This one here. Am I on the same one? This one here is on the same one?
that's this one, yep.
Okay, that well is somewhere right in there, according to this map.
Well, no, that's the area of overshadowing the
Yeah,
approximate.
there's
area.
nothing there. This is just, this dot is just connecting to this label
Right,
to say that this gray area here is the overshadowing area of this on this.
so it says that your approximate approved well is right here outside of that.
Yeah, which is shown larger,
Right, exactly.
approved in your wastewater WW 55250.
He's got it over there.
That's where your well is shown.
Yes, so that dot there is just denoting this,
It's just label.
this shadow
That-
there.
There's nothing there.
That's
That
not
is
the
not the
well.
well?
That's
No,
not
the
the
well
well.
is right
Okay,
here.
that. No, they draw a plan for. What's this one for?
That's the same thing.
It's just,
The well is not there?
it's just a way to point.
That was there already.
I took that as the point for the well.
Okay.
That's not the point for the well then.
It's all done.
One more question catching me up from last month. Once we solve the roadway dilemma, Everything else on this is past plat review.
Yes.
It's all, everything's, I's are crossed, T's are dotted.
Well, I don't know if we really went any further than that.
Okay.
The road was kind of an issue, but
We went through the whole checklist.
did we?
I think we did.
I wasn't even here.
We probably did. I mean, I believe it met every other criteria anyway. You know, for road frontage and lot sizes, it's really not that much.
We went through the whole checklist because I know we gave Mr. Sweetser homework.
Somebody landowners and all the other
Yeah.
drama that goes with that.
Yeah. And we wouldn't want to send them with half a homework assignment.
No,
So.
and we do that all the time.
Try not to.
This is a spirit.
Proposed surveys for.
They show a well location. And it isn't big enough, it isn't big enough for me to see. Okay. I can send it over.
Sorry. I was just coming to see if you needed to point some out, but you got it.
To be neighborly, Carol.
No, actually, this is Alphax. This is property sketch. Yeah, this is Alphax showing.
This is what Mike's saying. This is the survey. It doesn't have a lot of this stuff.
Well, it has to have, abutting landowners has to have access, roadway things.
For the well.
Well, this is kind of a level.
Have access.
64th of an inch.
Asked this before, but I wondered, the existing and proposed utilities have to be shown. Or incorrect. I always remember that they do, and I'm always asking because I don't know. Right.
Maxim would have them put it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not of the opinion that we need to, on something that's fewer than 6 lots.
Yeah.
Because basically from 6 to 9 lots, we take over what Act 250 would normally do.
Yeah, and our PUDs get huge there. Those requirements.
Right.
There's an activity. They're going through that whole too.
So I think I made the statement last time that, I was kind of wondering why we had to do that, because the original Pinnacle Lane subdivision was like 20 years ago or more.
Yeah.
So did you look into that?
I checked with the fellow that's doing my paperwork, Munley, there.
Yeah.
And he said, no, once you're active, you're an active.
Wow. That's not so.
Like that.
Not show them. Potential.
Then it's kind of holding off because they keep saying on the news and everything that they're gonna relax. Act 250 something.
For some things, I wouldn't count on them to relax.
It doesn't,
This.
it doesn't look like it, but if they do, it'll be right after.
Yeah, I'd have to write the check.
Right.
Yeah, my review was easy. All the things that are missing, if there are things, those are easy to add. The biggest question again is the road. And I don't have enough knowledge in this arena to know if it's gonna prove with this. I don't know if it's gonna mess with your 911 address, whatever we decide here today, it's gonna change your access point. I just don't know.
I guess that it probably is, regardless of what we do.
I don't know how to avoid it.
Everyone probably isn't gonna have too much trouble figuring it out.
The mail bins, all the boxes are down here.
They're all down there. Oh, still. Just,
This is mailman problems. It's taking social security checks, all the credit cards, all the.
You don't have your social security direct deposit.
No, social security, all the paperwork. Yeah, it's,
you don't think
I've
that,
still got an address in Mooresville
Approximately.
where I lived before.
Yeah.
Just because they
You see it?
can't seem to get stuff straightened around. And
they got another chance.
Huh?
There's another chance now.
No, what they get is another complication.
Yeah.
I've gone through it with the DMV. Their licensing department is different from the registration department. So my license renewal is supposed to go PO box in St. Albans, and my plates all come to me here. It's a nightmare. I ended up, it was a world of trouble in Maine. Address changes.
I just got a new credit card. All the things I've got set up on credit card thing every month, they're no longer any good, even though the number's the same. That's straightforward number on the back, they changed. So
These.
I just wore my card out. The straight one stopped working, or chip stopped working. I had to get a new card, same thing.
Yeah.
I had to go through every time, change the expiration date.
With that concern, with that concern being outside of something we can control anyway. Again, I'm of the opinion that Pinnacle Lane does serve as the access to more lots because we could not access those other two lots without the existence of that section. I mean,
I think the ordinance is,
and to your point, I don't see the harm. I don't see what that causes down the road. I can't think of anything that is going to, with the exception of wonky address changes, I can't think of any reason at all that would impact anything negatively.
I think it meets the spirit of what the ordinance is looking to do.
Okay. I mean, it does meet the spirit for sure. You know, our goal isn't to make somebody create more lots than they want. That's the only way to like completely meet everything. Well, that's kind of hopeless. Okay, but you know, getting back to the point, you have to meet your road standards for both of these. You know, you have to build the road to meet the road standards. They're on the website.
they haven't changed in the last 10 years, and they're.
2006 was the one last.
Yeah, probably have.
And they're right on, you just go right to the town website, they're right on.
I don't go to that website. I don't have one in my. You can't get it.
Sure, she could.
You can't get it.
No,
Yeah,
Until it gets
can't get
started.
it yet.
they've come up to that turnaround place from downstops. I just saw them run some wire up to there, but they stopped there and go the other direction.
You could get it satellite, you know,
I
or Starlink or.
Yeah, okay, Elon Musk.
Starlight didn't work there for some reason. They came and tested it. And,
Get a lot of trees over
no, I'm on the phone.
there.
And, but Usenet put it in and it works sometimes and sometimes doesn't.
Yeah,
I have to get it to-
Technology.
I had to get Usenet for myself. I have my phone service.
Yeah.
You can go down on either one of these lots. And phone works on it. You get up on the hill where you think it works, and half the time,
You have cell phone reception?
I'm shooting in the hardware.
it switches, it switches. It was Verizon that I had service up there when I first bought it, and then there went completely gone. And so I had to go to AT&T, and that's when I get service.
Yeah, I'll drop a call right at Pinnacle and then I can pick it back up on Fisher Bridge. There's a little dead spot right there.
All right, anybody else see any other issues with this?
You're up to the zoning administrator.
The main things are road frontage, lot shapes. Pretty much in my book, that's about it.
Yeah.
But so the way this stands now, you're going to continue Pinnacle Lane out to here? Is that
Okay,
what you're
that's-
doing?
Yeah, it was, yeah, the road's been all the way up through there, the same thing. If that's where you want it to stop, that's where it'll stop.
Well, you gotta have, so you have to have 150 feet of road frontage on at least something that meets town standards.
Yeah.
But, it doesn't have to be built to class 3 standards, it doesn't have to be a town hill or an east hill or anything like that. The road, it specifies a width for a certain number of lots served. They refer to it as that.
I wish you guys could just take a ride up it. That would give you.
No, you can see it on satellite.
And we're not the final arbiter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be Tom's gonna go up there, but it's site level and he's. Well, you're supposed to.
I think honestly, we would probably bump that to the highway foreman. He's the one who does driveway permits and whatever.
Yeah, but he doesn't do private roads. He would look at this, right, the intersection of it. But that's like,
I understand.
Yeah, you're right, it would be the zoning office. It would need to be.
ideally, you petition to take that under observation. And it's not a private road anymore, it's a moot point, but. Not sure why.
It wouldn't have much to have to do, I haven't done that, but I didn't have it, try to change it over because the others had worked on it so long before I'd been there. And
Okay.
it got turned down 3 or 4 times and it needed this and it needed that and they'd do the things and then it didn't pass and then it'd do this. And I didn't want to disturb anything they had done. I said, we'll just go with what has been worked on.
Yeah, well, that comes back to the point of, where was the even 90 feet of road frontage of this lot on Pinnacle Lane,
Right. No, and when that discussion was being had about where they were gonna stop there, they probably didn't pay any attention to our zoning regs. They probably were so focused on highway standards that.
Average daily travel. Trips, average daily trips, if it's less than 25, lane has to be 7 feet,
Lane has to be what?
7 feet wide.
So you're talking about 14-foot roads, because you need lanes in either direction.
and these paths.
It's got way more than that.
Does it have a graphic of that at all? Does it show anything about construction?
Yeah,
I
under,
believe they do.
It's all pretty.
road foundation. Dimensions below are intended for low traffic volumes, less than 250 ADT.
Yeah, so
Um,
the specs exist then.
yeah, so subgrade. Ledge and boulders shall be removed up to 18 inches. All loam, muck, stumps, and improper foundation materials shall be
A
removed.
nauseous plant mix is what. That whole road is for.
Subgrade shall conform exactly in cross section to the finished road surface. Crowding and banking of all curves shall be required. Compaction is required on any portion of the subgrade which has been disturbed. All ditches and drains will be constructed so they effectively drain the subgrade prior to the placement of any base material.
Too bad the town roads was built to that. So
Additional 6 inches of sand cushion shall be placed over any clay subgrade.
It's all sand.
Subbase shall be 12 inches of compacted gravel installed in 2 6-inch widths. Maximum stone size of 4 inches. Upper base, 6 inches of upper base coarse compacted crushed gravel as defined by Vermont standard specifications for construction.
The ditches all had to be 5 minus or something like that.
Yeah, so that's all right here. That's section 6.02 road foundation. So it's right there. You can come get it printed out from Belinda, I think.
and Tom will be up there.
It's just,
September 24th.
September 24th. Larry, are these new pins? Are these new pins?
Let's see where we.
I know where that corner is. I know where
Yeah,
that
just a
corner
second,
is.
let me get my bearings here.
Your house is there. Mine is
Yes,
right there.
yes, I had the surveyor put in pins and stuff down through between you and I, because we had a disagreement on where the line was.
Are those flagged so I can see them now?
They were flagged, I guess I haven't been out.
I haven't seen them. I've never seen them. I know where that corner is. I know where this corner is. I was wondering if they're flagged so I can find them.
You stop up, flag, I showed it.
Well, if they're flagged, I can find it.
That's, don't forget.
Because it should be a straight line from there to there.
They were flagged in September, and they are now.
Oh, okay, they were just September, that's last year.
Yeah, there. I think that's when that was done. That's a surveyor map.
So, yeah, stupid question. Which plat will be recorded with you? What do you need to see? This one or the wastewater plants? You need to see this. Okay, so these two are what's gonna be recorded. Do these two meet?
Was my question.
Yeah,
I never heard of a plat review.
right.
And I'm confused. What is the decision? Why did we do this?
Letting him call this Pinnacle Lane,
Incrimination.
and then this is going to
And
be.
it's gonna be further.
Okay, well, we're saying that this is serving this, but it's also serving this road, which serves those two.
And that doesn't need to be named.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
right.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Unless,
Unless
unless you're gonna call Pinnacle Lane going down here, there's like, we start there. Yeah, I don't know if we actually went through the checklist, but yeah, I mean.
Is it the page that's just?
No.
When I first got on, I was trying to use ChatGPT to create a thing, but I couldn't get the accuracy I was looking for.
So, section 4B. Subsection 4B. There we go. I'll probably tell you about this one. 4B 51.
Site plan review picture.
Neat to see when it's hand drawn stuff.
So the
You wanna go through it out loud? Or?
review criteria.
So usually I can put up on my laptop, but. I mean, but- Section 302, page 107.
All markings there.
It's a flag on the seal.
Oh, yeah, this,
I see no further.
thanks.
Okay. Anything,
Alright, so. Plan application requirements. Map of property, registered land surveyor, number of acres within the proposed subdivision. Location of existing property lines, existing easement, deed restrictions, existing features, including buildings. Is that the only building you have? Right.
It is now, because the one that was here is there.
Okay, so. don't need existing buildings. Some of this I'm going to go into wooded areas, roads, you know, those are things that get into the Act 250 part of it. All parcels immediately adjacent to the proposed subdivision, which you have that here, these names, these guys, and these people. District boundaries applicable to the proposed subdivision. So there you do have,
Carol Walnut is joined,
right,
all three of them.
right, so
Marking.
there's the zoning districts. You have zoning you're in two different zoning districts here. So you're in the Route 15 district, which is this lot one. And you're also in the rural residential. So according to this, the map should be showing the zoning district boundary applicable to the proposed subdivision,
so we need an overlay that's 1,000 feet from here.
basically, you know.
It basically follows the power line. I said, I got the whole thing where they did the 15 lots. I got that shows that,
The zoning districts.
well, I don't know about zoning district, it shows
Doesn't
that
have that, so
1,000 feet or 1,500, whatever it was from Route 15. I'm on the wrong thing, how much you are.
I think so. So the zoning districts are completely different. So we have a Route 15 zoning district and a rural residential. And you're in both here. So lot one is in the Route 15, which is why you get away with less than 2 acres.
Yeah.
And according to our regs, we're looking to actually have basically whatever it is, 1,000 feet or 500 feet. Show which it is marked on there. I'm not sure why we want that, but
I don't know that I've been a part of a subdivision that.
I have
two
that
split
districts.
too, yeah.
We're all in rural, you're lucky, look at you. How fortunate.
you need to go back to your surveillance. Here's another grant.
Yeah. Yeah, put a dotted line here for me, right?
I would make a motion to waive that. I mean, we can pretty much see.
We have the access to that in-house here.
Yeah,
We have-
I'm not sure why. I mean, maybe in a more complex situation,
Yeah,
it might be, you know, the village district, you know, yeah, Route 15 district, I don't know.
if that needs to be official, I will second your motion.
Okay.
I'm comfortable with that too.
Yeah, so this is zoning district boundaries applicable to the proposed subdivision. Location and size of any existing sewers and water mains, individual and community sewage disposal systems, wells, culverts, and drains. I don't think we'd require anybody to do that either.
This one does have a septic system already existing.
It does,
It does.
but it's approved, and again, you know, that's pretty much out of our hands. State took that over. So at the time, some of these rules were written and they haven't really been updated 100%. Wolcott did govern septic systems, except, you know, for lots less than 10 acres, then it was state. But when the state took it over completely, it took it completely out of our hands. Okay, subdivision plat prepared by a registered land surveyor showing proposed lot lines, access location, lot uses, water, wastewater.
I do also think that it would be worth noting that when these lots, if these lots ever did change hands, in the deed, your wastewater permit numbers would show there. I don't think they need to be on the plat.
Yes.
Because that information again is available somewhere else.
We put it on the permission of the property cards anyways.
Right.
The description of the subdivider building envelopes may be included, but obviously that's not required. City be map drawn at a scale of 1 over 400 to the inch, showing the relative location of the proposed subdivision to the adjacent properties. So we have that.
This one shows full. The mag. Huh? It's not-
So what we're looking for is kind of, it's basically like this. Right, Tom?
What are you looking at?
So as part of the subdivision plat rules, need a vicinity map drawn in scale.
Yeah, it's usually this little thing up here. Like this.
Does this impact criteria
Here is
show the relation of the proposed subdivision to the adjacent boundaries of to the
That says
general?
lot, there's 15. There's a river, like close enough.
Probably.
Being that it, again, it's hand drawn. I mean, what more are you gonna ask for out of a hand drawn sketch? And we don't have anything saying that they can't be hand drawn.
And, you know, you've got this that shows in relation to the Route 15 and on the Moyle River. But then you've got this bigger one that shows all of
The meets and bounds and bends and others.
Shouldn't there be no lot here?
I think if you look at this one, it has the zoomed in.
Oh, because that's on the other drawing. Okay, yep. Okay. I'm there.
Sorry about that. To draw. Name and address of the owner and record of the property. So. I don't actually have your Sweetser.
Might be changing.
Sure, a little bit.
Let's go to town. He's my age.
Name and address, name and address or of person or firm preparing the map. That's very cool. True north arrow and scale there. Total acreage of the subdivision in each proposed lot. Lots numbered and identified.
Yeah.
Does it have the total acreage somewhere?
Each one is identified, but the overall, I haven't seen.
All that we actually require that?
I know we've made each lot be labeled, but
Yes.
I don't recall ever asking for the whole.
No,
We have calculated.
right. All parcels of land proposed to be dedicated to public use and for sufficient data acceptable to the GRB to determine readily the location, bearing, and length of each street line, lot line, building, and below. Underline and to reproduce these lines on the ground. Yeah, we have numbers on the map.
Yeah, again, it gets a little fuzzy for me. It gets a little fuzzy in here. I don't see bearings and distances called out for where that, this quasi highlighted section,
There's a 50-foot right away.
but I don't see the direction, you know what I mean? I don't see a pin or a bearing, right? If I were asked to lay out where that right of way exists, I wouldn't know what to measure and where to measure to. Which I think is what that's asking for.
Does it have a distance to it?
It has to the property corner. But it's this dotted line here. I don't know what distance or angle that's at. And while we're on the topic of that, I also know that in the past, we have asked to alleviate any questions from anybody moving forward. We know that in this Route 15 corridor, you need 150 feet of, no, 100 feet of road frontage. It's clear that you have it, but we have asked people to call out that distance. It shows 220 down here on Route 15, we need 100 feet by section area. With the scale that exists and drawings being to scale, you know, I've always kind of thought that was duplicative, but I know that we have asked for that.
I've seen it on that. I've seen it.
So you see what he's asking here, just some distances here.
And again, if one is over 100, that's all we needed. And again, you know, I just don't see. But this looks different. This appears to me to be different than that. Because looking at the lot lines there, it shows Pinnacle Lane extending into. Does it not? It
It
does not.
stops right at that corner. Kind of the same thing.
It is the same, okay.
You know, I'm not sure how you lay out something like this.
Distance right there.
No. I mean, you can infer, because you know, if it's 50 feet wide, it looks like it's all of 150 feet, but
It says 54, right?
Right, but it doesn't show.
Right.
And I don't, book 79, page 5.5, that may have the information.
Mhm.
I believe that we have asked to have those things, I mean, and according to that plat review, right, we need, the board needs sufficient information.
be able to go out there and draw the lines.
I mean, that's how I heard that.
I've got it. I've seen it.
And have it put on this.
I think it was the preliminary one he did, and he sent it out to me, just make sure everything was what I wanted, and send it back.
He probably cleaned it up. Took some of that off. I mean, because it is a very well drawn, thought out, very detailed. Earnings plan.
Two things now.
Those were the only two
So
that I
far.
have seen sitting here.
Okay.
The other one was just a call out of distance.
Yeah, what was the district, right?
I think no, we motioned to waive the district lines.
Oh, if you go with that.
Yeah,
This one here, I need, what? Not really sure what's here. This just,
We end up sending them back to the surveyor.
yeah, I mean, and I could be way off base here, I would be.
I don't know yet. So you're just saying that it's like not drawn in a way that you could actually reproduce it on the ground.
So that last criteria, read that one for me.
Oh, sufficient.
Yeah. Patient data acceptable.
Length of every street line, lot line, particularly street line, boundary to reproduce these lines on the ground.
And this one is easy, well, I say easy, it requires surveying equipment. Everything inside of here looks fairly easy, and again, being to scale, it can be whatever, but it just, this line doesn't match this line, and that line doesn't match that line. I don't know. We as a board don't know what this right of way does from the end of the town highway through where we're proposing to put a new private road. We don't have any of those dimensions. We don't have any of those variants. And what I'm thinking is that if whoever owns, is this whole lot Marky Hole?
Yeah.
If he somehow ever wanted to subdivide and had all the other things that he had to subdivide, you know, we don't know what this distance is necessarily. So we don't, you know, that road frontage conversation would come up for him. You know, we're about to turn this into a private road, an extension of a private road. We should probably have those dimensions.
it would be a niche people's land. It's not even your land.
Well, it's within your right of way though.
Yeah.
So. But I'm gonna guess that 79,525 probably just says 50-foot easement
Yeah.
through the, you know, would that be the southeast corner? From the existing Pinnacle Lane to access, blah, blah, blah.
I looked at it.
And like I said, I'm 1/5 of a board opinion. If anybody else has any other ideas on that, you know, if this is in fact sufficient information.
It depends on how closely it's drawn to scale. I mean, you could triangulate off a couple points and find points along there. Yeah, so I'm not sure that, you know, the other roads that we've allowed to go in had that much information that you could reproduce.
You do make a good point. I'm thinking about the Cochrane. I don't think that we had, I know that they had dimensions, but this, I mean, this one does too. It says 50-foot right away. But you're right. I don't believe that it had.
Right, and the one that we were gonna let go through over on Elmore Pond Road, the guy that went up the hill, and I mean, that thing went all over the place.
Mhm.
The only reason he ran into trouble, he was running it too close to a building.
Mhm. Yeah, and even then we were going to find a way to make that work. Yeah, I guess I take back what I say. There is sufficient information provided these are drawn to scale, and we have to believe that they are.
Could we go out there and figure this out? It's basically from this.
Yeah, well, if ever we needed to, could we hire a land surveyor to interpret this? And I think
But you should be able, I mean, you've got, these are pins, right?
Mhm.
Like just
Yeah,
data points, so, you know, you could triangulate off each one, you could find this from these two.
yeah. Yeah, no, I think,
And we could reproduce where this curve
mhm.
is based on, these are pinned here. Basically these circles.
Yeah.
There's a line.
No, I take it back.
Using.
Not making it super easy, but it could be done. Yeah, it's not super easy, but it could be done.
Yeah.
Enough information there.
And to Jim's point, we haven't required that level of detail in the past. We have required detail, but not.
And, you know, it's possible the drawings had that level of detail, I just don't remember like paying that much attention to them.
Yeah.
All right, so,
So by that logic, those two homework items, we don't need them, we're gonna trust the scale because they need,
well,
And I've got scales, this one here, this one. By design, and he's got scales there.
So,
And he took the, actually, well, he did this first map to start 13 years, whatever, it was, about 13 years ago.
right, so, yes, we have the scale, you could figure this out fairly quickly.
okay. Part of this is trusting that they're drawing the scale,
And
you know, and again, we have a reference of 220 here. It is clear that especially on both sides, I mean, that's not even a question.
Right. So, yeah, so disregard that, you know, basically that up there.
okay. We're up to letter C.
Location of temporary markers adequate to enable the DRB to locate the raise the basic.
That's basically what we're saying, right?
Yeah,
Okay. You know, the following supporting documentation.
yeah. So again, some of this stuff is Act 250 stuff, which you're gonna run into on your own.
yeah, the Lane wanted me to get through this, and then he's taking out. You want to make sure everything was here.
Okay.
There.
Jump a little hurdle first.
Doesn't apply. Nobody's accessing the state highway.
Right. Here, so I'm on the page 109. Conditions of approval. So we're not requiring a master plan for this. And some of these things, I would really only be interested between lot 6 and 9.
Right.
Completion requirements phasing this within. Approval of any subdivision that does not require other permit shall be classified as final approval. Let's see if we show approval of all the, show all
Yeah.
the lines, the trees, the rocks, the shrubs, and all these things that are kind of waved as they go through.
Yeah.
That's right. He's got a- I don't know where it is.
Well, that was page 51.
Once that's where that all started.
Yeah.
That's what I skip over multiple pages.
Yep. It starts with landscaping right off the front.
So again, not that this matters to you, but we are having some work on our zoning regs to meet the state's Act 46 stuff. I'm hopeful that we can streamline some of this. You'll be done before it happens, but.
Thank you.
Landscape, village,
I didn't need to know that.
parking lots, mechanical utility screening.
Yeah, so again, some of this comes into either PUDs, full Act 250, or between 6 and 9 lots.
Yeah, where we start talking about, stormwater and,
Right. So the idea with that is that in
Yeah, all
towns,
that.
in towns that don't have zoning and subdivision rules, Act 250 kicks in at 6 lots. In towns that have zoning and subdivision rules, like Wolcott does, Act 250 kicks in at 9 lots or above 9 lots.
and it's 9 lots within 10 years or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, it's like, well, I don't really understand why you're still having to do this 20 years later, subdividing. But I don't know, not an expert on that part of it. But,
I don't know, maybe I should be calling that 250. Well, what I asked is the one to get money from me.
I don't know.
I don't know the man.
Yeah, do I need to do this? That depends. Do you have your checkbook with you?
We may not be forthcoming with the answers. Anyhow, any other concerns?
No, we have a legend, we have a north arrow, we have scales, we've got meets and bounds, we've got, the one existing building on the lot.
This thing and proposed septic, which is in our purview.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah, that won't be recorded in the plat, but it will be a part of the
that's
file.
over here, it's up there.
I'm assuming this is a fire pond.
It's a fire pond, it's, forgot what we call it when it's a runoff.
Retention, some kind.
Yeah, it's,
It's kind of at the top of the hill.
yeah,
isn't it?
no, down the foot of it.
Oh, okay. I guess I was reading all those lines wrong.
So it's catching stormwater.
It catches stormwater or stuff. It's out of a pond or something like
Yeah.
that. There's where I think it was. But, yeah, all the culverts. Most all the culverts, all the ditches connect down. Those up. And it's supposed to be a fire pond, there's everything in there, but. They said we're going down the road, if chance of them ever using it is swimming in front.
This has no bearing on anything we're discussing here. I'm just curious, whose responsibility is it to maintain that?
Maintain the road.
No, to maintain the pond.
Hey, I'm the owner.
Lucky dog, again. But yeah, so this is the Mylar, this gets recorded, that goes in the file, that information exists here in this building somewhere. At some point. No, I don't. I see no troubles with what we have.
Okay, so we're leaving it that you're extending Pinnacle Lane out to this point.
Yep.
And then it's gonna be a driveway beyond that or whatever, but I guess it doesn't really matter to us, but that's what it's showing here. That goes out to here and then it becomes driveway.
They only stop right there, because that's where the lot stopped, instead of not doing that all the way.
So for our purposes, you have at least 150 feet here and 150 feet here, so you've got
300 from there.
So if you ever decide to subdivide this out here, we're gonna want to see exactly where this road ends. But for now, we're assuming that it goes to here.
It's like 50-foot wide, all the way up to that whole thing.
But this is what it's showing on your plat, that it goes to that same point. So,
Yeah, because he did this from the surveyors.
Do we need him to have the street names on the plat? No, correct.
not on the plat, But you will have to have street names and. You're the 911 coordinator, right? And the select board has to approve the street name.
Yeah.
And have you run that by them?
I did it the other night and stuff. Yeah, and I said, I need to come. You folks.
Okay, so. I think we're ready to. Have a motion to accept the subdivision as presented.
I don't feel that place. I missed the first meeting, but I'll make your motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, motion is approved. We didn't put any conditions basically on this.
Always, I mean, the road was the biggest thing
It
and
was the biggest confusion.
Regulations or all the regulations outside from.
Tom's pleasure, you mean.
Well, it's the same conditions everybody.
Everybody else
So
has
standard.
follow.
Yeah,
There's no homework.
so you had. Something else here.
I thought we have an email from Maxfield.
So the only ones that were here were Bill and I. You weren't here last meeting, right?
I I zoomed, but audio was sketchy. I wouldn't feel confident in voting on those. I would abstain.
Bruce was here.
Bruce was here, Bruce is not here.
Yeah.
So, Barbara.
I think you're gonna have to say. You were the third.
No, he was the fourth.
Bruce was online. Bruce was here.
Yep. Bruce was here.
So was here.
Oh, Bruce was here.
Yeah, I was here and I could hear most things. We didn't have any binding business then, but anyway.
Well, we did that.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we didn't record a vote from you, like.
You know, so I could be off the hook here. It's the 23rd, right?
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
I see myself sending them in some,
Couple more.
Sign on the same voting.
It's just nothing we have to do. Two things coming up, the two lot subdivision. This is Tony Smith's property. So. Rich is up the house. If you have to do it, it's like,
so where's that?
this is, Yeah, it's Crusade Farm.
So, right at the corner, so
This
this
is.
one more pond store.
Right.
Right. So they want to carve out 2 acres in
Two
that
acres,
corner.
center house.
Really?
Is that adjacent to the town forest? Is that up against the town forest?
No, come on.
Sort of, but not really, and this is swampland, you bought this to protect the beavers.
Okay. So now we're gonna be protecting beavers, or we're gonna be trapping the beavers?
We're gonna be losing money on the grant list that just took an $828,000 cut.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, selling it to court. That was Tony's question, so.
To give it to the town. Were there any stipulations on it? Can the town turn around and sell it?
Northern Rivers Land Trust is doing.
God, so probably not.
Yeah.
We're down if you want, you, if you want to go. Okay. We can suggest other stuff.
Do we keep this?
Yeah.
Keep this, keep that?
Yeah. It goes in. This is one.
Yeah, perfect. That works, yeah. But the one that was here, I just folded up.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
And we'll make them in see on the sides. The signage is when you get the Mylar, you need to bring it in to record it. The Mylar. And of the survey. The survey needs to be in Mylar, can't be in paper like this. Okay, I can show you. The surveyor.
That must be part of the will he gave it to Land Trust,
Yeah,
and Land Trust is trying to get us to agree to.
well, so the remaining, so it's 55 acres total, 55.5. We're carving out a 2-acre homestead for sale to a new owner. Remaining 53 acres will be given to the town as per Tony's wishes.
Northern Rivers, the executor of this.
Apparently, yeah. So he gave his entire real estate located at 97 Horseshoe Farm Road, consisting of 55 acres more or less with buildings and other improvements located thereon to the Northern Rivers Land Trust.
Terrible with things.
Actually, all
Not as complicated as it sounds.
that. Northern Rivers Land Trust is selling him the undeveloped portion of the property in the town of Wolcott to be added with a conservation easement place there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
I know it's close to the conflict, but I didn't know if it's up against.
So this map here shows the abutting landowners. It also looks like it either has at one point or is proposed to be subdivided into, I'm counting 1,
No,
4 lots.
what you're looking at is this, he bought this, you know, everything in parcels.
Oh, and unsubdivided.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, I don't, it doesn't say, I don't believe that we are, this is forest is a butter.
This 2 acres is gonna stay. Use a house. Yeah. That doesn't touch the Bourne property at all?
Oh, right there, yeah. Yes, it does.
Okay, so it is contiguous with the town forest.
Well, it gives access.
In a little bit.
It's not forest, it's swampland.
Oh, wooded swampland, can't be that bad. From boardwalk.
So there's, that creates the potential
Gives access
to go to the pond road.
Right.
Right.
That's kind of cool.
If it's all swampland, how valuable was it anyway? But, or were they like taxing it? I get taxed on my swamp.
Yeah, it's a little upgrade.
Oh, let's see here.
Yeah, it looks like it probably is okay.
I mean, that's not gonna be a factor in any decision we get to make.
No.
Right.
I was gonna say, what does the DRB have?
We just have to approve the subdivision, right?
No, this
subdivision.
I,
Yeah, so that's not a problem for us.
And then the other one, the first one, I showed you. This is February, the storm. So the access is gonna be off the North Wolcott Road. But this maybe has access on Western Road.
This, so just subdividing this out of this chunk.
Yeah, giving this kid a couple acres to build a house.
And you're talking with them regularly before, between now and next month's meeting?
I could.
Having not really looked that closely at that yet.
Yeah.
If he's planning on using the driveway that I think he's planning on using, I would question some line of sight on that uphill.
Yeah.
I don't know that we as a DRB get to tell them where to put their driveway, but I do
I
think
think
that
it would be a select board access to Wolcott Road.
when they come to get
Because
it,
that's, is that class one? Class one, or class two?
but it is federal aid highway.
It's a hidden driveway, it's right on the corner. It's very-
There's no place to put a mailbox. You can't see a damn thing coming in and out of there, because I'm assuming what I heard from Ashton was that Bernard was gonna cut off the trunk and give it to Levi where he's building.
Yeah.
And then Ashton was gonna rebuild on Ray Fleming's at some point.
Hmm.
So that access that Levi's using now where his camper is, I don't know, unless they work out a deal. Again, I don't know what the shape is gonna look like.
Yeah, well, they probably could get it where Ray Fleming.
Is this the proposed driveway here?
Yeah.
It's like, proposed within front yard right of way, you shall use. You shall be determined in deed. There's a right of way here to this lot. Right, that's the Wolcott Road. So he's
this
proposing a
lot
right of way
is-
right along the boundary,
Yeah,
right from that corner, and along here to access this lot.
he's not really showing a driveway for this lot yet. Unless he's coming off that same right of way. maybe.
Yeah, is that what you're talking about, Mike?
Well, again, not really knowing, not having any other frame of reference here.
So here's North Wolcott Road. I don't know what road that is.
That's,
Could be the Bill.
yeah, Bill Allen, not Bill Allen, Patch, Bill Patch.
That's
Right, so here's the proposed lot. Here's his right of way. So it'd be right there.
If I remember correctly, his current access cut that they've been using. Well, he's been getting in through Ray Fleming's,
Well,
which
he
is
said
down,
he's using
this
this
one?
one that's already there. You know?
which is that guy there, yes, that's the Ray Fleming lot that they bought when Ray died.
Okay.
Looking at the shape of things, it looks like they do plan to drag that driveway down.
All the way to almost the boundary.
If you drive up through there, you can see an old stone foundation somewhere in this corner. And looking at this right away, it looks like, but that right away is to access this, not,
That's what it looks like, yeah.
yeah. The only thing I would, and again, DRB doesn't have any weight on it, but the only thing I would prepare them for with the select board when they try to get a driveway cut is that
Well, they're gonna say it's existing. We don't need no. Assuming.
it isn't existing. It isn't existing because, right, it's not existing and we don't have to allow them to use it.
Not an existing driver.
No,
Just nothing.
right, it was never permitted. You know, and it does, it's not a, it creates a danger to everybody. Maybe I'm wrong, you know, if I sat,
People driving, look around, they don't do 50.
if I sat in the driveway, you know, because I've never backed into that access, I know they're gonna have steepness issues, I know they're gonna have culvert issues. You know, in order to meet all these other standards that we have, but. I don't know. Because like I said, it was not a driveway access because it never accessed anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I would alert, I guess I would suggest.
All right. So, to look forward to. Next one.
Other than that, it's fly.
All right. I have one other thing, since you guys have a question this morning.
Yes, so more than one house. I don't think we really address that. It's one dwelling unit per 2 acres.
Right.
One dwelling unit plus an accessory building for 2 acres, really, or
Is it
one
accessory building?
or accessory dwelling. So literally on a 10-acre lot in a rural residential area, you could have 10 dwellings.
Right.
10 of them would have to be accessory dwelling units.
Five of them.
Well, right, 5 would have to be accessory dwelling units, 5 could be primary.
And that's a state thing. We can't regulate
I was gonna
these.
say, I look through regulations, I didn't see anything like that.
And I don't think that we have to require them to subdivide it or anything. I'm not sure about the wastewater regulations, though.
So-
That's out of our purview.
It's outside of our purview, but the ADU can only be an ADU if it meets wastewater, blah, blah, blah. Again, following that state rule. So we can't, going the other direction, picking a small lot, somebody's got 2 acres, they got a house on it, they want to put another house on it. The state deems that they are restricted. One of those units needs to be under 900 square feet. And they both need to meet their wastewater requirements.
So that's a different, this is, I don't know who it is, I got a call from Tyler.
Yeah.
Company.
Yeah.
Engineer, he's got a person with a lot of land that wants to put another house.
Mhm.
I didn't see an issue. But I didn't know.
Tyler, you want to read the zoning rules?
Well, he said, Morrisville is hard part goes, you know.
Oh, yeah.
What is Wolcott?
Read. You said, give them a link.
And again, when it comes to that ADU thing, we as a town don't get to say no. The state took that out of our hands, the same way they took wastewater.
Well, right, but I think even before the state did that, we were allowing ADUs.
Yeah, I'm sure that we were.
So it has to be an accessory?
No, it doesn't have
Okay,
to
so
be.
he can put another house.
Yeah, if he's got 100 acres, he could put 50 houses there as far as we're
That's
concerned.
kind of, I didn't know when that auxiliary thing kicked in.
Yeah,
That's when you're over density.
right, right.
You know, if you've got, like I said, if you've got the 2 acres and somebody wants to put a 900 square foot apartment on
Yeah,
We can't.
that I know, but a whole separate well.
it, as long as they get their wastewater permit and they come, well, they don't have to come to us with that, actually.
No,
Your zoning permit requires that information now. When they fill out the permit, they have to have the wastewater number.
they do, but.
Usually
I
you fill it
can't
in.
hold up the permit.
Yeah.
Cause that's really not an issue.
Right, well. It depends on, to me, it depends on how the permit is worded. If the permit is worded that we're gonna build a structure. Then no, we don't need wastewater in every structure. If they're going to build a 3-bedroom residence, then in order for the permit to go through according to our regs, it needs to meet
Well,
wastewater.
in this case, I don't think we're gonna have any.
No, God.
Build a house with real water, et cetera.
Yeah, no, certainly not in this case, but just in general.
So one way to look at it is, it's no different than building a duplex.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It's still, number of dwelling units, number of acres.
Okay. So as far as I know, it's all. Well, maybe it's a good do.
So he's gonna make up that grand less money that we're gonna
All right, anybody want to see the minutes?
Well, we only have a few of us here, unless Michael can sign it.
That says a mirror, so.
Yeah, let me read, like I know it said, I know you approved that. My comments on that were recorded in the chat anyway, and I remember voting to approve.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
think I read them.
Yeah, and that's the only binding business, so I guess there really is no.
And there wasn't any real conditions to,
Yeah, it's pretty clean.
sorry.
For the campsites, 2 campsites, 1 campsite.
Eight. Oh, see, I didn't realize motorized vehicles and campers also. Not just a hit camp.
So there were neighbors that showed up, usually neighbors will bitch about these things, these neighbors were very supportive.
Really?
Yeah.
They're
That's
actually
awesome.
bitching at us.
Right.
For not just letting it.
Put conditions on that.
Oh, I love that.
What do you do? What's wrong with you guys?
I love that. Yeah, no, I mean, I was here on Zoom, audio was spotty, but I don't disagree with anything that's here. It all is how I recall it being, so sure. Do you need a motion to approve or can I just sign these?
It is.
Good stuff.
I mean, it records until the motion to adjourn.
Oh, yeah, I'll make one of those.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
All right,
Motion. Meeting's adjourned.
okay, well, be quiet. until
If you're watching, Graham, bye.
I-
No, nobody was on, but she'll catch it on YouTube because apparently she doesn't sleep at night.
Nothing like watching DRB meetings to help you fall asleep.
Seriously.